Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant. And so earlier this week, on the phone with me right now, I'm going to pull her up. But earlier this week, I think it was either yesterday or last week. Maybe it was yesterday. You know, the days run together here on the Shelley Winter Show. But I talked about not seeing a lot of ads, a lot of posts, a lot of volunteer opportunities for door knocking and phone banking. And I reached out to Greater Georgia, and because this is what they do. And I wanted to talk to them and see if we can get the information out about volunteering and also talk about turnout. And on the phone with me right now is Carmen Bergman. She is the Executive Director of Greater Georgia. Hey, Carmen, how are you, my sister?
Shelley, I'm doing well tonight. How are you doing?
Wonderful. So first of all, Greater Georgia, you guys tell us the quick 30-second breakdown of what Greater Georgia is.
So Greater Georgia was founded in 2021 by former U.S. Senator, now SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler, and it had a threefold mission to register, educate, and mobilize voters across the state. And we are continuing that mission forward today. In 2025, we were able to register 17,000 conservative-leaning voters in the state of Georgia. In 2025, and just these past 5 months, we've registered an additional 4,000 voters. And now comes the big opportunity to make sure they stay engaged and mobilized both in May and beyond.
Absolutely. So talk to me about what you're seeing on the ground, what you're hearing on the ground. We spoke a little bit earlier today because right now I talked about at the start of my show, Democrats have pulled 318,000 ballots. Republicans have pulled 262,000. And it's maintained this kind of, split since early voting started pretty much. What are you hearing on the ground? Is there a malaise? Is there a fatigue, a voter fatigue? What's going on the ground?
Well, so I certainly think that voters have a lot of decisions to make from the top of their ballot all the way to the bottom of the ballot. And there could be those who are still trying to make up their mind on a few races and waiting until the end to be able to cast their ballot. As you know, we've got some really critical judicial races that are at the very bottom of the ballot, past all of the non-binding party questions, but make sure to go all the way down and vote for those judicial candidates. So I think there could be some lag in when people choose to go cast their ballots, but we can't take that for granted. We can't assume that that deficit is going to correct itself on Election Day. And so one specific thing Greater Georgia is doing is having virtual phone banking nights. It's this upcoming Thursday. We'll do it again on Monday. We can't just cross our fingers and hope that that deficit closes. We're going to be on the ground working every day to make sure that's the case.
Now, what is a virtual phone banking, one? And number two, how can people sign up for the virtual phone banking, door knocking, all the opportunities you have to turn out voters?
So great thing about technology is people can make phone calls from anywhere they're at, from their computer, from their phone. And so at the beginning of that volunteer session, they'd be able to connect with other like-minded volunteers, get the instructions they need, the guidelines they need, and then go forth and conquer and be talking to voters in their community who have not yet voted for whatever the reason may be. Our efforts right now are really honing in on the Supreme Court races, the Court of Appeals races. So if someone wants to sign up to volunteer, gajudicialguide.com is where they would go, and they'll have a toolkit available to them to be able to engage on these judicial races, and then we get them plugged in with that phone banking opportunity as well.
So GA my pen doesn't work. Judicial, say that again.
Guide.com, gajudicialguide.com. I won't pass an opportunity to say that URL again, Shelley.
Okay. GA Judicial. I'm just writing it down so I can repeat it out. GA Judicial. Say it again. GA Judicial.
Guide.com.
Guide.com. Okay, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, go to gajudicialguide.com and look at how you can sign up for the virtual phone banking this Thursday. And you said next Monday, correct?
That's right, yes.
And this is for the Supreme Court races and the other judicial races?
Yes. So everybody statewide will have 4 judicial races they'll certainly be able to vote on. You've got Charlie Bethel and Sarah Warren, the incumbent justices, who have done a wonderful job maintaining the rule of law and committed to protecting and preserving our Constitution. You've got two Court of Appeals races, the incumbents, Elizabeth Gobeil and Trenton Brown. And then that website also has a great feature where if you type in your address, kind of like the My Voter page, you can see any local judicial races that you might be able to vote on.
Absolutely. Carmen, talk to me about the importance of these judicial races. I talked last night about the Democrats, Charlie Bailey, who is the great Democrat state leader for the Democrat Party, doing a great job for his side, obviously. He said the other day that they've spent more. This is the most money they've spent as Democrats on judicial races in 20 years. Talk to me about why they're doing it and why we must counter their efforts.
I think that tells you all you need to know right there. It is a nakedly partisan effort that they are running. And it's not about preserving the Constitution. It's not about judicial restraint or interpreting the law. They have a political agenda, and they are using the courts to be able to impose that political agenda, and they're making no bones about it. And so this should be a 5-alarm fire wake-up call to conservatives across the state. So many of the conservative reforms that have been passed by Governor Deal, passed by Governor Kemp, and some of them have been tested in the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. Those are the types of things that are on the line with these elections, and we need Georgia to continue to have judges committed to the Constitution and who are not going to advance their personal partisan political agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the phone with Carmen Bergman, Executive Director of Greater Georgia. Carmen, I asked this question, and I want to ask it again kind of in a different way. And this is Carmen speaking. This is not Greater Georgia. I know it's hard to separate, and I'm not asking you to get yourself in trouble. But as you do this work, as you register voters, as you travel the state and do this work, what are you hearing from those newly registered voters? What are some of the things that you hear from them?
That's a great question. I think for many of them, affordability is top of mind, and that's not a cop-out answer. It's just the truth that
right.
they are very mindful of pocketbook issues right now. They are looking at the political class as a whole and trying to see how it can work for them and make their life better and make their life easier. And I think they're tired of many of the political games they see in D.C. and beyond, and are wanting to use their voice at the ballot box to be able to see that change that they desire, to be able to have it impact their daily lives as well. These are, a lot of times they are checked out not because they are not informed, they're not intelligent, they're not engaged, but because they're fed up with the system. And so making sure they have some hope that the political system, and in Georgia, we've done a great job in governing in a conservative, responsible way and showing them that their engagement can and will have a positive influence in the direction of their community, their state, and ultimately their bottom line.
Well said, my sister. I'm giving you the bell. I don't know. I've never given a bell to a guest before, but well said. And I think what you just said needs to be repeated over and over and over, not only by myself, but many others who are trying to stave off whatever's coming in November for the Republican Party. Well said. And these are people, I think the most important thing you said was they're not... they're not naive. They're not, they want to see the system work for them. And I'm sure if I asked a Democrat person that did the same work that Greater Georgia does, they would say the same thing.
And the good news in Georgia is that because of good, sound, responsible governance that doesn't chase headlines, but does things the right way for the right reasons, they can see that in action. They can have that hope and actually see it play out in a good way for them. And so I'm personally encouraged about what's ahead for Georgia in 2026 and think we've got good things on the horizon.
Good. And you're giving me hope also. So I appreciate you coming on. Might have done one thing. If nothing else, it made me encouraged about November. Keep up the good work, my sister. Give out that information for people who want to virtual phone bank or knock on doors or whatever if they want to get involved before Tuesday.
We'd welcome it. gajudicialguide.com. Come join the fun. We're going to keep pushing through Tuesday of next week and beyond.
Have a great day. God bless you, my sister, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Shelley. You too.
Bye-bye. Carmen Bergman, she is the executive director of Greater Georgia. They're doing good work, and I wanted to get them on so you can hear exactly what you heard. We'll be right back. It's the Shelley Winter Show. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK.